Hello my lovelies! Welcome to the Torrin Classic series in which we revisit some of my very earliest hairstyles on my channel. I don't know what this is. I watched too much Rome, I think. Any hoodles! Yeah, we're going to do the Victorian today. Of all of my videos, it has the most views. Yay! A lot of people like this because I have a lot of reenactors. It's just simply a pretty hairstyle, and maybe best of all, it works great under a hat because Victorian ladies wear hats. So we don't need a lock for it. You are going to need a hair tie, preferably one that doesn't have hair all over it. I'm going to use some clear elastics for the bottom, some pins, and your optional topsy tail. You do not need a topsy tail. You can watch the original video and see I didn't have one. But since I have one, we might as well use it. So we're going to begin by making a low pony. Once you have your low pony, you will want to slide your hair tie down just a bit because we need to do a flip through. So I'm going to go ahead and get my topsy tail on there. This needs to go up top. And we need to find the center. I am going to use my mirror though real quick just to help me out. That seems to be the center of my head, mostly. And then we just flip through. I find this to be the most helpful just because my hair is very long and it's not super conducive to flipping. Once you have flipped through, go ahead and tighten up. And that should be fairly even. Let us see. Not too bad. Don't worry too much about how it looks right here because we have to run our braids through there, so we'll get to fiddle with that. But there's your basic topsy tail do. Okay, I'm also not worried about this yet because, you know, me and my bangs. So, next. Now, in my old vid, I made 3 English braids, and then we just tuck them up underneath. I have a different way of doing it now. Instead of 3, I'm making 2. Only 2 English braids because I'm going to run them through twice. And when I do that, it'll make it, turn it into 4. And if I did 3, it would be 6, and that's just way too much. So I'm going to English braid 2, and then I will return once the step is done to show you the next step. Alright, we have 2 English braids. We want to tie these together. Just for the simple fact that it just makes it so much easier when we're doing our pull-throughs. So I'm just going to pull mine here. And I'm just going to tie, put a hair tie right over the other 2 hair ties. Yeah, it just makes it easier for when we pull through. Instead of having to wrangle 2 separate braids, we just sort of wrangle 1. Okay, now, like I said, the old way was I tucked them up underneath. This way we're actually going to run through. As in, get your little fingers up here. You see them poking out. Grasp. It's usually easiest if you go to where the hair tie is. I've got a little baby hair down here being finicky. Now, you have to decide how long you want your loop to be. As you can see, my loops are really long. But if your hair is shorter than mine, you may already be done. I am going to loop twice. I'm getting one, a little more than the other. That seems decent. So the other loops will come up and tuck in. I think I want my little loops on the outside. So I'm going to put them that way. The outside, the outside. That seems relatively even. Okay, I finangled a bit just to make sure they were all nice and even. So I'm going to add pin before I tuck in the end, just so my braids don't move under there. I want them to stay. Just a little bit of an anchor. This is going to tuck right into this little pocket we have made. Now that I'm tucked, we finish pinning. I just kind of pin down and into the whole mess underneath there. Don't worry about the split. We'll get to that in a second. But yeah, I just pin the braids X pattern. This side and then this side. Alright, so basically this is it. But you'll see I can still see my scalp right here, and that agitates me. It doesn't always show. It really just depends on how your hair is behaving that day. But if you run your fingers, you can see it's mostly gone except for right there, which agitates me. So the best thing for this, or the thing I think looks most appropriate if you're going for period, is they have these little forks with like a fan on top. And I have one somewhere, but I don't know where it is. So instead, I'm going to tacky root. I'm going to put one of these homemade flower things I made in instead. Because it is me. Yeah, and I'm just going to put it right where the tuck is, like so, and be done with it. You can put a bow, you can put a regular flower, what have you, but I think this turns out really pretty if you do it this way. I like big things in my hair, but that's me. But as you can see, by doing it this way with only 2 braids, instead of 3, and running it up and through twice, it actually has the look, I think, a lot better than the old way, especially because it eats up a lot of length. But it's pretty well balanced. It's low on the head. It's a little heavy. I'm not going to say this is a hairstyle I wear a lot, because it totally isn't. I'm not a big fan of styles that are really low on my head, because to me, that's not my sweet spot. My sweet spot's up here somewhere. However, that's not where they wore them. So there you go. That is the revisited Victorian hairstyle. Braids are better. I like that better. But that's because I'm a tacky gal. Okay, I'm not sure which classic style we're doing next week. I'm going to go through the archives and see. Unless there's one that you think I didn't do a very good job on and would like to see me revisit, which is totally cool, because I have gotten better over the years. Alright, my dears, I will see you next week, or tomorrow, depending on what type of viewer you are of mine. And yeah, have a great day. I love you guys. Bye.